Chapter 9. The Final Reckoning. Kaelith's trap was sprung on the ash-covered world of Zarron, an abandoned mining colony on the edge of Hutt Space. Her forces, a mix of Sith loyalists, mercenaries, and bounty hunters, had turned the barren wasteland into a fortress. For weeks, Clan Solus had been tracking her movements, anticipating this moment. Kaelith wanted a war, and Dax Solus was prepared to give her one. As the Ember Fang descended through Zarron's choking atmosphere, Dax stood in the cargo hold with Kira, Tovak, Lyra, and HK-87. His blackened Beskar armor gleamed under the dim lighting, his crimson cape draped over his shoulder. The clan had grown stronger, but this battle would test them like never before. "Kaelith will be expecting us to fight her on her terms," Dax said, his voice steady. "We won't. Stick to the plan. Kira, you know what to do." The slicer smirked, holding up a small vial of translucent liquid. "These neurotoxins better work? Because I've got about 30 goons who won't be thrilled with what's coming their way." "They'll work," Dax said, his tone certain. "Tovak, Lyra, cover her while she deploys them. HK, you're with me." "What is my directive, Master?" HK-87 asked, its mechanical voice tinged with excitement. "Maximum carnage or complete annihilation?" Dax glanced at the droid. "Start with carnage. We'll escalate if necessary." The plan began flawlessly. Kira infiltrated the fortress's ventilation systems, using her herbal neurotoxin, a mixture derived from the venomous roots of a Varnic plant, and her own experimentation, to incapacitate Kaelith's ground forces. As the gas spread, guards began dropping like flies, clutching their throats and collapsing. From a sniper's perch, Lyra picked off stragglers, her shots precise and deadly. Tovak, a walking tank, held the line against the remaining mercenaries, his cannon roaring as he drew fire away from Kira. Inside the fortress, chaos reigned. HK-87 moved with ruthless efficiency, dismantling droids and cutting through mercenaries with its dual vibroblades. Dax, meanwhile, carved a path through the labyrinthine corridors, his crimson lightsaber blazing. He could feel Kaelith's presence like a storm on the horizon, her anger and hatred radiating through the force. Dax found Kaelith in the heart of the fortress, a cavernous chamber illuminated by the molten glow of a central pit. She stood at the far end, her double-bladed lightsaber ignited, her eyes burning with rage. "You've come to die, Solus," she snarled. "You've built a clan of misfits and fools, but it won't save you." Dax raised his saber, its crimson blade humming in defiance. "You've chased me across the galaxy for this. Let's finish it." Kaelith lunged, her blades spinning in a deadly arc. Their sabers clashed, the impact sending sparks flying. Dax countered with brutal precision, his movements a blend of Mandalorian combat techniques and force-driven agility. The duel was relentless, a blur of red light and fury as they exchanged strike after strike. "You could have joined me," Kaelith hissed, her blades whirling. "We could have ruled the galaxy together." "I don't bow to Sith," Dax replied, deflecting her attack and delivering a punishing kick that sent her staggering. The fight moved across the chamber, the molten pit casting long shadows. Kaelith's raw power clashed with Dax's discipline, each refusing to yield. She unleashed a wave of force lightning, but Dax caught it on his saber, redirecting the energy with a grunt of effort. Kaelith growled, leaping toward him with a flurry of strikes. Dax met her head-on, their blades locking in a fiery clash. "You're nothing, Solus," she spat, "an orphan playing warrior." Dax's helmet tilted slightly, his voice calm and cutting. "And you're a shadow of the Sith you think you are." With a surge of strength, Dax broke the saber lock, spinning to deliver a strike that severed one of her saber's blades. Kaelith screamed in fury, her movements growing wild and desperate. But Dax didn't falter. He drove her back toward the edge of the molten pit, his relentless strikes forcing her into a defensive stance. "You'll never escape the darkness," Kaelith snarled, even as she teetered on the brink. "I don't need to escape it," Dax replied, his voice cold. "I've mastered it." With a final, devastating strike, Dax disarmed her, her saber clattering to the ground. Kaelith fell to her knees, breathing heavily as the glow of the pit reflected in her wide eyes. "Do it," she demanded, End it. Dax hesitated for a brief moment. Then, with a flick of his wrist, he deactivated his saber. Numbered death would be too easy for you. Live with your failure. As Kaelith's forces crumbled, Clan Solus regrouped outside the fortress. Kira's toxins, Tovak's firepower, and Lyra's precision had turned the tide of battle, leaving the remnants of Kaelith's army in disarray. When Dax emerged from the fortress, victorious but visibly weary, his clan greeted him with a mix of relief and pride. "That was one hell of a show," Kira said, tossing him a canteen. "I'd say you earned a drink," Tovak grinned. "And maybe some sleep. You look like you fought a rancor." Dax gave a faint smirk, his gaze sweeping over the group. "We all did our part. Clan Solus isn't just me, it's all of us." They raised their weapons in unison, a symbol of their unity. The battle had tested them, but it had also solidified their bond. They weren't just survivors or mercenaries. They were a family, forged in fire and bound by loyalty. As the sun set over the wasteland of Zarron, Dax knew that this was only the beginning. The galaxy was vast and full of challenges, but with Clan Solus at his side, he was ready for whatever came next. "This is the way," he said softly, his clan echoing the words.